What to Play presents the top new upcoming role-playing games. Fans of the beloved Digimon series can enjoy once more with Digimon World Next Order. This PS Vita exclusive offers gameplay similar to that of the previous game, but with an upgraded feature of a second Digimon partner. The game offers the player an expansive open world and more Digimon to tame. No word yet has been announced for an international release date, but players are hoping for a sooner one. The game was released in Japan on March 17, 2016, so maybe a year or two. Bless Online. Gather your shields, axes, and bows because another Korean MMORPG is on its way. Developed by NeoWiz Games, Bless is set in a medieval fantasy world where players can select their own race and class as what RPGs do, featuring similar gameplay mechanics from Dragon Age and The Witcher. This massive game offers a ton of surprises for players who want to feel every moment of its universe. And just recently, Area Games pledged to be its international publisher and will be arriving in North America and Europe soon. From the creators of Life is Strange comes Vampyr. Nobody knows for sure as what the gameplay would look like, but folks are guessing that it'll be a darker, very mature Life is Strange type of game. After all, you're playing as a self-righteous vampire in a corrupt and evil 1918 London. As a vampire, you're in no obligation to kill in order to finish the game. Expect a lot of dialogue and NPC chatting in this game. Its combat is said to involve improvised melee and ranged weapons. However, this would not be the main focus of the game. Albion Online is an upcoming sandbox MMORPG game that boasts a classless-based gameplay. You are what you wear, be it a dual knife-wielding heavy armored cleric, a staff and shield mage, or a bow and arrow strapping necromancer. It's your choice. And what's amazing is you can do this equipment swapping thing on the fly. Well, that's pretty convenient, don't you think? There are also other things that you can do other than fighting. You can also be a blacksmith, trader, gatherer, or even a farmer. Tons of things to get involved to. This is Albion Online. Deep Down. If you're familiar with the hair-pulling gameplay of the Soul series and combine it with Monster Hunter's co-op mode, then you are in for a treat. Deep Down is an upcoming role-playing game by the legendary developer Capcom, exclusively for the PS4. The dungeon-style gameplay makes players feel claustrophobic and haunted by a horrendous horde of ugly monsters. The game also features a 4-player co-op, and it's up to you and your teammates to survive and grind in this godforsaken world. Etrian Odyssey 5. With all these upcoming Japanese RPGs all around the world, it's pretty difficult to know which ones are worth noting. Fantasy World creator and famed for their Persona series, Atlus has released the next sequel for their dungeon-crawling RPG. Etrian Odyssey 5, or Labyrinth of the World Tree 5, The End of the Long Myth, is set to be released in the Nintendo 3DS on August 4, 2016 in Japan, and no word yet for an international release. Shigeo Komori, the director from the previous games, will return as the game director, so polish your stylus and wait for just a little longer. Perhaps one of the most ambitious games to come out this year, Kingdom Under Fire 2 is a mix between role-playing, real-time strategy, and MMO. Taking a peek at the gameplay, you will instantly feel that this game is on an entirely different league of its own. It looks grandeur in scale, pretty in graphical quality, and frantic in gameplay. After its announcement way back in 2008, the game was rumored to be in development hell, and in 2011, the game had its first beta testing, and now will be released in Western Shores with a brand new feature called Rebel Fortress, a co-op mission for up to 4 players. Dragon Quest XI. From the company that brought Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts, Square Enix brings the 11th entry to their Dragon Quest series. Get ready to explore the revamped universe of the Dragon Quest world and navigate through the beautiful visuals while admiring the rich story and characters. Players can now jump as the game harnesses the power of both PS4 and Nintendo 3DS to make players feel that they belong in it and roleplay as they see fit. Additionally, players can adjust to 3D or 2D playstyles to suit their preferences. Monster Hunter Online. Fans of the acclaimed Monster Hunter franchise will truly be amazed. Lo and behold, Capcom has unleashed the biggest beast in the franchise, Monster Hunter Online. Taking the same elements from the handheld consoles, this new generation explores the PC's online capability and visual glory, featuring new monsters, new weapons, and new worlds to explore with other players around the world. While China had the first taste during December 2015, North American and European players are still hoping for a miracle of an international release. Tales of Berseria, the 16th main entry in the Tales series, and the first that features a female protagonist, and a pretty badass one at that. Berseria's world is shared with Zestiria's, but is happening in a distant past as opposed in the latter. It has quite the same problem, where humans are turning into evil beings and stuff. There isn't much information on what new features we are supposed to be excited about, and the only tips that they're giving are all in the official trailer. Additionally, 3 key items like an apple, a comb, and a compass are said to have a very deep influence to the story and the characters of the game. From the creators of the most crowdfunded indie game in 2014, brings you Divinity Original Sin II. A classic RPG experience through and through is what Larian Studios are embedding into their Divinity games. What's amazing about this game is that it reached its $500,000 goal on Kickstarter in less than 12 hours. And in every stretch goal that we meet from there, Larian Studios will add something new to the game. As of now, the most noteworthy new features are the 4-player co-op support, a new crafting system, skill crafting, and competitive questing. Proclaimed by some as the upcoming true RPG, Kingdom Come Deliverance boasts an open-world role-playing experience like none other. Featuring a classless game system, encouraging players to design their own ideal in-game character. Be it a swordsman, a bard, an assassin, or somewhere in between, traits and skills grow depending on what the player does. That including NPC interaction, dialogue choices, quest choices, and more. Everything in its world is real-time and interactive, giving you the feeling of being another you inside a game. Choose your path, like what a true role-playing game should let you do. Star Ocean, Integrity and Faithlessness, the 9th game in the franchise after the somewhat lackluster free-to-play card game. According to Gematsu, new features like seamless real-time battles, branching narrative, branching events, and backstories are to be expected in the upcoming game. Star Ocean has never been this good looking, and with its proposed interactive and dynamic cutscenes, you will now get to shape your own story and on how it progresses. Also, be happy PS3 gamers, for this will be one of the few big games that will be coming to your beloved platform, before it finally dies. NieR Automata is a sequel to the hugely successful Drakengard spin-off titled NieR. The game will be more focused on improving its action gameplay while retaining its RPG mechanics intact. Automata is set sometime during the Machine Wars, where you take control of multiple characters in an action RPG style of gameplay. New characters like different kinds of androids and the recurring weapon stories found in Drakengard and NieR are also to be expected in this action-packed sequel. After months of teases, God Eater 2 Rage Burst is finally having its Western release. It looks to be one amazing RPG. It incorporates fast-paced, moment-to-moment strategizing and attacking. In Rage Burst, there's a new feature called Blood Rage, where you pledge to your God Arc and receive various buffs to your player. The game is all about teamwork. The bigger the monster, the harder it is to slay alone. Hunting, crafting, grinding, and more hunting. That's basically what God Eater is. A fun repetition of slaying monsters 10 to 100 times bigger and meaner than you. Ni no Kuni 2 Revenant Kingdom is a sequel to the highly praised fantastic RPG Ni no Kuni Wrath of the White Witch. At long last, fans of the series can now rejoice. I mean, who's not hyped by a new game that's in direct collaboration with the animation titan Studio Ghibli? A new dreamlike setting, new lovable characters, and a new engaging story that for sure won't disappoint. It's amazing that Ni no Kuni opted for a completely new storyline rather than feeding off on the predecessor's popularity. It shows how much the franchise values originality and story over aspects like graphical quality and familiarity. If you're a Mass Effect fan, then you were probably jumping up and down when this game was announced at E3. However, if you're not a fan and haven't played any of the Mass Effect games, then Andromeda is a perfect game to get into. The game is said to be set in a new universe, with a whole new storyline, new characters, and hopefully some new gameplay features. You know, just to add something fresh for returning fans of the series. However, what is confirmed though is the inclusion of multiplayer, and the return of the 6-wheeled vehicle, Mako. Celebrating 20 years since the launch of Pokemon Red and Blue, comes a new era of Pokemon gaming. Introducing Pokemon Sun and Moon. Honestly though, why separate a game in two? It is the new era of gaming, right? Anyway, there's been no big news as what to expect big in these new installments. However, Sun and Moon will be the first games in the series to allow players to choose from 9 different languages to play in. Not something that you'd be very excited about as a fan, but at least Pokemon Bank will still be making its appearance. With all of Koei Tecmo and Team Ninja's powers combined, they're bringing you this masochistic samurai slasher, Neo. It follows the story of a half-blood samurai with ethereal powers that can bring down evil men and demons alike. It was first announced back in 2004 as a PS3 game titled Oni, based on an unfinished script by Akira Kurosawa, the man behind the creation of the highly influential Seven Samurai movie. The gameplay looks and feels like a Dark Souls clone, but the combat is oddly similar to that of a Ninja Gaiden game, and if we go by the footage, it looks freaking good. After a decade of waiting and after two main games from the series, Final Fantasy XV is finally coming out this year. This is the first main Final Fantasy game that will be breaking out of its turn-based roots. Not really sure what to expect from this big change, but the trailer sure as hell looks awesome. Reminds me of Devil May Cry, flashy and combo-based. Also, the game features an all-male cast of main characters. Oh, let's just say Backstreet's back. Alright. Kingdom Hearts 3, another highly anticipated game from Square Enix. Sora returns as the main protagonist, along with the usual Goofy and Donald Duck, plus other Disney characters like Rapunzel, just to name a few. Expect more worlds from both Disney and Square Enix to come, even more than Kingdom Hearts 2, according to game director Tetsuya Nomura. The game is said to be played more or less like its predecessors, with drive forms making its return, new Keyblade transformations, team-up attacks, and summons. Final Fantasy VII Remake. The hype is strong with this one. Square Enix promises to bring the 1997 masterpiece to its full-scale remake to the PS4. This reboot offers new and exciting real-time gameplay mechanics while powered by the PS4's insanely powerful graphics driver. You will still get to control Seven's main character, Cloud Strife, as he fights his way to defeat the evil corporation Shinra. Square recently announced that this game is episodic, and according to them, each episode feels like a gargantuan game. Now who wants a Final Fantasy VIII remake? Persona 5, definitely one of the most anticipated RPGs coming this year, and is one that stayed true to its turn-based roots. I'm looking at you, Backstreet Boys. If you didn't already know, Persona games are about high school students with abilities to summon beings from their psyche by shooting themselves. Turn-based combat, summoning highly interesting characters, and unique plot twists are what Persona games are known for, and for shooting themselves. Additionally, the social link function for Persona 3 and 4 is making its comeback, in a different form, so expect amazing things. Cyberpunk 2077. From the makers of the Witcher series, CD Projekt Red is yet on a crusade to bring fans another top-quality role-playing game, and this time it's set, well, in a dystopian 2077 AD. Based on the Cyberpunk series of tabletop board games, it's said to be non-linear and features different classes. Reminds me of, well, basically every other RPG game out there. The game for now is under heavy wraps, and few hints or little to no gameplay footage is present. However, no worries on our side, since we all know that CD Projekt Red always delivers and rarely fails.